by some of my award-winning team in blue. Should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Stephen Marino, Lachlan Mills, and of course Mr. Joel Viavattene, who no doubt you've had the great pleasure of becoming acquainted with throughout the marketing campaign. Buyers, let me share with you the following announcements, which are in place to help you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules, and any additional conditions are made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer will indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides fines for such conduct. Rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, and the balance to be paid at settlement in the flexible 30 to 60 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything is in here. Everything's quite clear. So buyers, it is with my highest recommendation what we offer for your consideration. The competition here today, we've seen enormous growth in the DOREEN market in recent years, and more so in 2025, and for very good reason, because we have so much wonderful infrastructure that surrounds where we stand here today. If you look up and down Picturesque Avenue, you'll notice some very house-proud owners, and for very good reason. Again, Parklands is as close as across the road. Easy access to a number of transport routes, not far away at all from Mernda Station, providing simple access into the city, and great options in terms of schools, both primary and secondary. Plenty of shopping options too, all within easy reach. DOREEN is certainly on the map. Add to that a great family home, a free flowing floor plan, and if you ever wondered what Picturesque Avenue means, all you need to do is look out that back window, those beautiful sweeping views. A great opportunity for you and your family today to get the sold sticker up on the board. If that is your goal right now, buyers, is your time to reserve that right. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for number 7 Picturesque? Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call, buyers. I'm in your hands. Start me where you like. Always the most quiet part of an auction. At 590,000, a bit light on, sir, but I'll go with you at 590. It's my last auction of the day. I've got some time. At 590,000, welcome, best of luck here today. At 590 the bid. At 590,000, fairly been offered now at 590 the bid. At 590,000, bids their opportunity with everyone else at 90. At 590,000. At 590,000, I was going to suggest 20 in the rise. You read my mind, ma'am, sir. At 610,000, same courtesy at 20 if you like. At 610, it's got to be 30 now. At 610,000, taking 20, sir, make it 30. At 610,000, fairly been offered. Can I say 30 now? Show some confidence, sir.
626.
626. I like it. I'll go with it at 626. At 626,000. At 626,000, I'm going to offer $14,000 increment just to help me get back on par. At 630, I'm not taking 4 at this stage, sir. Make it 40 in the rise. At 626, I have. At 626, at 636, now I'll take 10. At 636, now the bid. At 636,000, I don't know how I ended up on sixes. At 600, at 650 now. Thank you, sir. Back to parity at 650,000. At 650,000, the bid's there now at 650. Your 10's still good with me. At 660,000 now, and welcome back at 60. At 660,000. 70 it's got to be. At 660,000 and the bid's here. At 660 the bid. At 660,000, got a bid with that confidence, sir. At 660,000, fairly been offered. How are we going over there, Steve? At 660,000. At 660,000 now. Once at 660,000, are we done?
666, right?
At 666. Are you sure? That's not a nice number. At 666, we'll go triple sixes. At 666,000. At 666,000, can I say 680 now? At 660, at 70 now. I'll take it to round me off at 670,000. At 670,000, entice you back in at 5 now. 675, and the same courtesy at 5 if you like. At 675,000, the bid's here. Same courtesy for you, so at 5 now if you like. At 675. At 675,000, fairly been offered now. 675 the bid. At $675,000 now. First call at 75. Are we done? Second call at 675,000 at 80 now. At 680. At 680,000, 85 if you like, sir. 680,000 or 86. At 680,000, the bid's here. At 680,000, bids here in the centre. Opportunity on both sides. At 680,000, fairly been offered now.
85.
85 now. $685,000 now. At 685, and the bid's back there at 685, 90 if you like, sir. Or 96. At 685,000, fairly been offered. At 685,000. $685,000 now. Once at 685, all done. At 685,000, twice at 685, done, finished. Third, final call, 685,000 bids there. What do you say, sir? 685,000, considering your position here at 685. Can I say 90?
688.
It's got to start with a 9, sir. 69. Can I say 690?
No.
At 688. At 688,000, fair enough at 88. At 688. At 688 in the bids here. 688,000, fairly at 90 now got. At 690,000, made me get there the hard way, but we got there nonetheless. At 690,000. At 690,000, fairly been offered. How are we going over here? Are you still with me? At 690, you're done. Absolutely sure. Still great value at that at 690,000. The bid's here at 90. At 690,000 for the first call. At 690, are we done? At 690,000, twice at 690, done, finished. At 690,000 for the third and final call. At 690, the bid, all done, all finished, all silent, out at $690,000. Can I confirm that bid at 690?
Yep.
At 692, at 692,000, the bid's back there now, fresh bidding, welcome, best of luck at 92, at 692, are you absolutely sure? You've been so strong, don't walk away for a $2,000 bid, at 692,000, at 692,000, the bid's across the road at 92, at 692, fairly been offered now, at 692,000, bids there, you work
94.
At 94 now, at 694, and is that 99, sir? At 695 for 695. At 695,700 beckons at 695 now. At 695 the bid. At 695,000 bids there across the road at 695. Opportunity still with you. You worked so hard to get yourself in this position. Don't walk away just yet. At 695,000 it might be first of 7 wins. If that's the case, you want it to be you that gets there first at 95 and the bid's there across the road. At 695,000 first call, second call, third, final call at 695 the bid, all done, all finished, all silent at 700,000. Where'd you come from? At 700,000. Well, you're welcome to waltz into any of my auctions, sir. 700,000, even money now at 7. At 700,000. At 700, and the bid's here at 700,000 now. At 700,000, just confirm instructions there, Joel. At 700,000, fairly been offered now. Joel confirming terms. At 700, the bid. At 700,000, fairly been offered now at 7. At 700,000, bids there. At 7 now. First call at 700,000, all done. Second call at $700,000 a bid, done, finished. Third, final call at 700,000, all done, all finished, all silent, out at 700,000. Joel, if you could go inside and seek some instructions for me, please. At $700,000, the bid's there. Send in Joel inside. That's always a good sign. At $700,000 now. At 700, the bid. If Joel comes back out and says that we're on the market, you want to make sure that it's on your bid because that means that you'll be holding the keys. At 700,000, you've got the chance to put yourself ahead of the competition now. At 700,000, the bid's there. Opportunity with you, sir, across the road. At 700,000, and I haven't forgotten about you. In the front here, we're done, and we're done over here at 700,000. I think, sir, that you're not quite out yet. At 700,000, you're still considering your position. I'm wrong, you're definitely out. And we're on the market and selling at 700,000. Bids here, keys are here. Might buy with one bid. If you... and a half at 700 and a half at 700, 500. At 700, 500. Got to be a stronger bid in response, sir. At 700, 500 now. At 700, 500, fairly been offered. Can't let him walk away with a $1,000 bid. At 700, 500 now. At 700 and a half. At $700,500 the bid now. 700, 500 the bid. Bids there. Opportunity with you. We're on the market. We're selling at 701. At 701,000. At 701,000. And a half at 701 and a half. At 701 and a half, give me a bigger bid, sir. Take me to 705. At 701 and a half, fairly been offered now 701 500. At 701 500, fairly been offered at 702 now. At 702 the bid. At 702,000. At 702,000, small bids help the competition come along. Big bids buy property. 702. Having said that, I'll sell it on a half if you like. At 702,000, fairly been offered. At 702, only $1,000 bid, sir. Ma'am, are you sure? Yeah. Absolutely done. Thank you again. At 702,000, bids here, keys are here, we sell. at 705, and that's a better bid. Fight fire with fire, sir. Give me a bigger bid. Can I say 10? At 705,000, and the bid's there. At 705, the bid. At 705,000, fairly been offered now at 705. At 705, the bid. At 705,000, bid there against you. At 705,000, first call at 705. All done. Second call at 705,000, done. Finished. Third, final call at $705,000 the bid. Was that a bid, sir? Are you sure? Do you know how close I was to taking your money at 705? No? Fair enough, fair enough. So just getting ready to clap, fair enough. Don't put your hand up again at 705,000. The bid's there, the keys are there. We're on the market, we sell. What do you say, sir? At 705,000, can I get you back in for, say, 5? Make it 710, a statement bid. Big bids buy property, definitely done. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. Sir, across the road on your phone, definitely done. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. At 705,000, are you still out, sir? At 705, thank you, sir. We're done over here at 705, and we're done here at 705,000. Done over there. First call at 705, all done. Second call at 705,000, done and finished. Third, final call at $705,000 a bid, all done, all finished. Silent now to 705. We're selling, selling, selling. So, congratulations. Now you can clap, sir. Congratulations, please join me in congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourts Rata & Co auction. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.